Tyrion Lannister is getting in touch with his funny side. Game of Thrones Golden Globe winner Peter Dinklage is attached to play the lead role in a new R-rated comedy. The film doesn't have a title yet, but according to The Hollywood Reporter, it will tell the story of a man who pretends to be a leprechaun in order to exploit people. Expect plenty of profanity. Peter Dinklage will also play the main villain in the upcoming movie X-Men Days of Future Past, and he'll return in the 4th season of Game of Thrones next spring.
You're a clever man. But you're not half as clever as you think you are.
Still makes me more clever than you.
If you think the space combat in Star Wars The Old Republic is a load of bantha poodoo, it's about to get a whole lot better. Game maker BioWare has announced the Galactic Starfighter expansion for the MMO. It will let players customize their own starships and then jump into the cockpit to engage other players in 12 versus 12 dogfights. The free expansion comes with loads of different ship types, battle zones, and gameplay modes. Space combat was included with The Old Republic at launch, but many fans complained that it was too limited. Galactic Starfighter will be available to everyone on February 4th, 2014, but paid subscribers will get early access beginning December 3rd. BioWare says that more new content for The Old Republic is in the works. And Starship Captain Han Solo might be getting ready to hunt down more replicants. Harrison Ford may appear in the sequel to Blade Runner. Speaking with IGN, Ford revealed that he's been chatting about the project with director Ridley Scott, and he would be happy to engage with him further. This may come as a surprise. Ford and Scott had a notoriously confrontational relationship while making the first Blade Runner more than 30 years ago. It seems those troubles have been lost in time like tears in the rain.
Embarrassing.
There's no word yet on when we can expect to see the new Blade Runner. Harrison Ford is also expected to reprise the role of Han Solo in Star Wars Episode 7, which begins shooting early next year.
I expect to be well paid. I'm in it for the money.
And before Ridley Scott returns to the world of Blade Runner, he has to unleash his latest movie, The Counselor. The gritty movie tells the story of a straight-laced lawyer who's sucked into the deadly world of drug trafficking. The film promises to examine the darker aspects of human nature. It's the first original screenplay penned by novelist Cormac McCarthy, and Ridley Scott wanted to make sure the film turned out just as dark as his books.
When you go into his universe, you can't make apologies to what the main story is about. You can't clean it up. You can't make it better at the end because it has a natural evolution to its ending. And that's what's really smart about all his stuff. And I think that's what's great about his screenplay. I read it and went, I have to do this.
The Counselor will hit theaters on October 25th, and we'll have a closer behind-the-scenes look before then.
If you're not in, you need to tell me.
Why?
Because you don't know someone till you know what they want.
Poning noobs and getting kill streaks is going to be as smooth as possible in Call of Duty Ghosts. Activision has announced that the current, next-gen, and PC versions of the new game will have dedicated multiplayer servers. This means all the online number crunching will be done by powerful computers run by the studio instead of ones hosted by individual players. Basically, it ensures the best online performance possible, which should come in handy given the insane number of people who play Call of Duty.
We have so many fans that play this game year in and year out. I think you saw the number that was thrown out there, 40 million a month. And for us, we have to basically give them the best game year over year, over and over again.
Call of Duty Ghosts will deploy on current-gen systems and the PC on November 5th. It's a launch title for the PS4 on November 15th and the Xbox One on November 22nd. Anyone who rushes out to pick up the PS4 will have to wait a week to satisfy their need for speed. The latest game in the racing franchise, Need for Speed Rivals, will hit the PS4 and Xbox One on November 22nd. Every version of the game will include the new all-drive feature, allowing players to instantly jump back and forth between the single-player and online multiplayer worlds.
Our kind of cornerstone feature is something we call all drive, which is fundamentally destroying that line between single-player, co-op, and multiplayer. So instead of having a menu and lobbies and waiting, you just have a Need for Speed world, and then you and your friends seamlessly decide how you want to play there.
If you're not planning to upgrade your console, Rivals will cross the finish line on November 19th for current-gen systems. Over on the big screen, the Need for Speed movie will race into cinemas in March. It features Breaking Bad's Aaron Paul and plenty of fast cars.